What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. And we're up to check out Brazil's unluckiest F1 driver of all time. Ever. Maybe. Who knows? Shout out Peter Brook as always. All credit goes to him. Big time. And without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. Just keep it short. Keep it simple. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well. As always, you guys' support is absolutely terrific. Let's get started.
Home races are a special occasion for any driver. Nigel Mansell once famously said that the home fans give you half a second per lap, which maybe explains how he took 4 home victories. Lewis Hamilton himself has won the British Grand Prix 9 times.
9 times?
Michael Schumacher won the German Grand Prix 4 times, Alain Prost won the French Grand Prix 6 times, and Max Verstappen has won the Dutch Grand Prix 3 times in 4 attempts.
I will say this though, I do feel like if you're from that country that's hosting a race, you have to win. Or you have to finish at least podium. Top 5. At the minimum, top 5. But you gotta get at least a podium or a win. So like the Silverstones, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Lando Norris, obviously the Dutch GP, Verstappen, the Spanish GP, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz. You have to get one. You have to get a win there. I'm not saying every year because it's hard, but see what Lewis has done at Silverstone, see what Nigel Mansell, see what Verstappen has done at the Dutch, Schumacher, the German GP. I'm not saying it's a requirement, but hey, you have to get at least one. At least one in your career. You gotta bring home at least one.
Not everyone is so successful at home, however. In 6 attempts, Charles Leclerc has won at Monaco once, and Niki Lauda won the Austrian Grand Prix once in 12 attempts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But perhaps the worst offender in this regard is Rubens Barrichello. Barrichello's first Brazilian Grand Prix was in 1993 and was only his second race in Formula 1. He was driving for midfielders Jordan and so would have been targeting points instead of a win. He qualified 14th, whereas teammate Ivan Capelli failed to qualify, and he was running in 12th when his gearbox died on lap 14.
Dang.
Barrichello stayed with Jordan in 1994, and the Brazilian Grand Prix was now the season opener. He qualified 14th again, but in a race that saw his new teammate Eddie Irvine trigger a 4-car pile-up and his mentor Ayrton Senna spin-off, Barrichello stayed out of trouble to finish a career-best 4th. The Brazilian Grand Prix in 1995 was a sombre event, as it was the first one since the death of Senna, which made Barrichello Brazil's leading driver. He was still with Jordan and qualified 16th, whereas Irvine was 8th. He had
Are we not going to talk about how bad his qualities are at Brazil? I mean, holy crap.
a good start, but then lost places and was running in 12th when the gearbox died on lap 17. Barrichello did a 4th consecutive year with Jordan in 1996, and the Brazilian Grand Prix became the second race of the year behind Australia. This time, he qualified a sensational 2nd, even if he was almost a second off pole sitter Damon Hill.
We'll take it.
The race was wet, and Barrichello dropped a 4th at the start, but stuck close to Jean Alesi and 3 times tried to pass him. Alesi and Jacques Villeneuve spinning off later on gave Barrichello 2nd, but the track was still wet when he made his only planned stop, and being forced to pit again for slicks dropped him back to 4th, and while trying to pass Michael Schumacher for 3rd, he spun off into the gravel at Descida de Lago on lap 60. In 1997, Barrichello joined the new Stewart team. He qualified 10th, with teammate Jan Magnussen 20th, but stalled at the start and then a large crash meant the race was red flagged. He jumped into the T car for the restart and was running in 13th when the suspension broke on lap 17.
Holy crap.
He stayed with Stewart in 1998 and this time qualified 13th with Magnussen 16th. He got up to 9th in the first stint and was running in 11th towards the end when the gearbox died on lap 57. 1999 was Barrichello's 3rd consecutive year with Stewart. He qualified a surprise 3rd behind both McLarens and inherited 2nd when David Coulthard stalled at the start.
Who was better? Was it Jordan or Stewart? I would assume the Jordan team was better than Stewart. I only know Stewart because of Jackie Stewart. That was his team. That's all I know. But I don't really know much else about the Stewart team.
And took the lead from Mika Hakkinen on lap 4. He led for the next 23 laps before pitting and rejoining in 4th. He passed Eddie Irvine for 3rd on lap 36, but then his engine died 7 laps later.
Crap, bro. This is ridiculous.
In 2000, Barrichello finally got his big break by moving to Ferrari to partner Michael Schumacher. In what was the fastest car, he qualified 4th, just behind Schumacher. He took 3rd from Coulthard at the start, while Schumacher took the lead, and he then passed Häkkinen for second on lap 15.
Okay.
Barrichello led for 2 laps after Schumacher pitted, and he rejoined in 4th when he pitted, but on lap 27 he pulled into the pits after the hydraulics gave out. In 2001, Barrichello was now a race winner, having taken victory at the German Grand Prix the previous year. The Brazilian Grand Prix was now the 3rd round of the season, and he qualified a disappointing 6th, while Schumacher was on pole. Barrichello's car died on his way round to the grid, so he had to start the race in the T-car.
This is crazy.
Häkkinen's stalling at the start meant the safety car was deployed. Barrichello had been passed by both Jordans at the start and the BAR of Jacques Villeneuve, but managed to repass Villeneuve at Decido de Largo. At the restart on lap 3, Barrichello passed Heinz-Harald Frentzen at the CNRS, but then speared into the back of Ralf Schumacher at Decido de Largo. In 2002, Barrichello qualified 8th, while Schumacher was 2nd. Schumacher took the lead on the first lap, and Barrichello got up to 6th, and then worked his way up to 2nd on lap 6. As Barrichello was on a 2-stop strategy, Schumacher gave him the lead on lap 14, but 3 laps later, the hydraulics gave up.
I'm done. No, okay, alright, No. It can't be the same issue every time. It's the same issue every time. Either it's a bad pit stop, high suspension brakes, crash, hydraulic fuel, whatever, hydraulics go bad, like, nah.
2003, there was something of a breakthrough as Barrichello took his first home pole position, and Schumacher was 7th. Torrential rain meant the first 8 laps were run behind the safety car. He was immediately passed by Coulthard at the restart, and was passed by Kimi Räikkönen and Juan Pablo Montoya on the next lap, and then Mark Webber and Schumacher on the one after that to drop to 6th. He worked his way back up as the circuit dried out and got up to 2nd on lap 28, and then retook the lead from Coulthard on lap 45. However, 2 laps later he ran out of fuel as the car's telemetry had told him he had more than he did. In 2004, the Brazilian Grand Prix became the season finale. Barrichello managed to take pole position again, while Schumacher qualified 8th and dropped 10 places for an engine change. The track was damp, and Räikkönen took the lead from him at Decido de Largo. Barrichello retook the lead at the CNRS on lap 4. After an early pit stop for dry tyres, he dropped to 6th, and then passed Takuma Sato for 5th on lap 33. After the 3rd round of pit stops, he leapfrogged Fernando Alonso and Ralf Schumacher to move up to 3rd, and finished there, over 20 seconds behind Montoya and Räikkönen. While he had failed to convert his pole to a win, Barrichello still got a home podium and saw the checkered flag at Interlagos for the first time in 10 years.
We'll take that.
2005 was to be Barrichello's final year with Ferrari, and the Brazilian Grand Prix was the 3rd to last round. In what was a difficult year for Ferrari, he qualified 10th and started 9th, with Schumacher 7th. He passed Felipe Massa at the start, undercut Christian Klein in the first round of pit stops, and then passed Jenson Button on lap 44 to finish 6th, 33 seconds behind Schumacher in 4th.
Oh, jeez.
In 2006, Barrichello moved to Honda, and the Brazilian Grand Prix became the season finale once again. He qualified an impressive 5th, while new teammate Jenson Button was 14th, but lost out to a sensational drive from Button and a charging outgoing performance from former teammate Schumacher to finish 7th. In 2007, Honda dropped to near the back of the grid, but Barrichello qualified a modest 11th, with Button 16th, and Barrichello was running in 11th when the engine died on lap 41. Very few improvements were made in 2008, but Barrichello had surpassed Riccardo Patrese to become the most experienced driver in Formula 1 history. Here, Barrichello qualified 15th, with Button 17th, but managed to get up to 11th at the start, and was running there when the rain started coming down on lap 63. Barrichello pitted for extreme wets on lap 64, while everyone else went for intermediates or stayed out. The rain did not come hard enough, however, and so the tyres overheated, and he pitted again on lap 67 for intermediates and finished 15th. In 2009, Honda became Brawn GP. Barrichello now had a front-running car and found himself fighting for the title alongside Button, with his wins in Valencia and Monza being his first in 5 years.
They were teammates? So I know about Brawn GP because we've reacted to it, checked over it. We know about Jenson Button. But I didn't know Barrichello was his teammate. I mean, you learn something new every day, but...
The Brazilian Grand Prix was the penultimate round of the season, and Barrichello was 14 points behind Button with 20 up for grabs, and 2 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Torrential rain in qualifying allowed Barrichello to take his sole pole position of 2009, and first since he took pole at Interlagos in 2004, and Button and Vettel were 14th and 15th respectively. Barrichello led the first 21 laps before pitting and rejoined in 10th. He was overcut by Mark Webber and Robert Kubica and was back up to 3rd behind them on lap 38, now being pressured by Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton made a pass on him at the Cenares on lap 62, but in so doing gave Barrichello a puncture which meant he pitted and dropped to 8th, while Button finished 5th to be crowned champion. In 2010, Barrichello left Brawn when they became Mercedes and instead joined Williams, returning to the midfield. In a damp qualifying, Barrichello qualified a strong 6th, while his rookie teammate Nico Hülkenberg took a shock pole position. Kubica passed Barrichello at the start, and he had a slow first pit stop on lap 13 and rejoined in 17th. While battling for 13th with Jaime Alguersuari on lap 34, Barrichello tried to pass him, but they made contact which gave him a puncture and he pitted again and rejoined in 18th. He made up a few positions towards the end and eventually finished 14th, while Hülkenberg was 8th.
That's crazy.
Barrichello stayed with Williams in 2011 and was now joined by rookie Pastor Maldonado. The Brazilian Grand Prix was the season finale again, and Barrichello qualified 12th, with Maldonado 18th. After a poor start, Barrichello dropped to 19th, just in front of Maldonado. After the first round of pit stops, he'd worked his way up to 15th and eventually finished 14th. Barrichello had intended to continue racing in 2012, but unfortunately this was to be his final Brazilian Grand Prix and final appearance in Formula 1, as Frank Williams fired him over the phone in January 2012, in place of his late mentor's nephew, Bruno Senna.
That's crazy.
Rubens Barrichello contested the Brazilian Grand Prix 19 times. 3 times he got pole position, but only managed the best result of 3rd.
Chat, look how many DNFs that is. DNF, 4th, DNF, 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 DNF. I'm gonna just keep going. 3rd, 6th, 7th, DNF, 15th, 8th, 14th, 14th. Obviously, best chance was 04. But he had chances with Stewart Ford. That was just a waste of time. Stewart, that was just a waste. Ferrari, outside of the last 2 races, were a waste of time. I mean, Williams, I don't think the car was competitive to really get it, but I think Ferrari was like his best chance. But the Jordan one as well, man, like these suspension errors, like these car issues, like talk about every time you race at home. Your home GP. Every time.
And failed to see the checkered flag 11 times. This despite the fact that 6 times he had a car capable of race wins. In 5 attempts, José Carlos Pache won it once. In 8 attempts, Emerson Fittipaldi won it twice. In 13 attempts, Nelson Piquet won it twice. In 11 attempts, Ayrton Senna won it twice. And in 14 attempts, Felipe Massa also won it twice.
Even he got one.
Since 2012, Barrichello has been racing in Stock Car Brazil. He won the title in 2014 and 2022, but of his 20 wins in the series...
That's just crazy, man, but... Guys, Ruben Barrichello. He's about the most unluckiest F1 driver I've seen at Brazil. He's probably the most unluckiest F1 driver in general. In regards to one track, he has to be the most unluckiest. It's crazy how many times he tried, just never got it. I tell you. Anyway, hope you guys did enjoy the video. As always, don't forget to like the video, sub as well. Take care. Stay amazing. As always. See you guys soon. Peace.